All right. Good morning. Good morning. I guess I'm dating myself, but you remember this from a Saturday Night Live back in the day? Good morning, boys and girls. This is Buckwheat. We got a word of the day. Let's go with the word of the day. And today, when I woke up this morning and went through my routine, I think yesterday I went over my routine a little bit because people asking, how does Red Dog get up every day and get himself situated, get himself in gear to execute on the X's and O's. So today's word, boys and girls, is commitment. Actually, it's not really funny because commitment could be, interpreted a lot of different ways. What are you committed to? Are you committed to your morning routine? Are you committed to making promises that you keep to yourself? Are you committed to your wife, your family, your spouse? Are you committed to things that don't benefit you, that need to be changed? Are you committed to your standard of life? If you're not happy with your life, what do you have to do? You have to raise your standards. And to raise your standards, you have to commit to different things. Anyway, that's your word of the day, commitment. And sometimes you have commitment issues. And in college, you don't need to be that committed, except for you got to go to some classes so this way you don't fail out. Anyway, there's a little commitment to this range, right? There's a little commitment to the SPYs range. I'll tell you right now, it's been a little tricky, right? Every time it looks like we were going to break this 565 and break this zone, right? This turned into the SR flip that a lot of people call it, where, got above resistance, became support, and now we're still up here. Looks pretty good. At this point, sometimes the range looks neutral to negative or neutral to positive. Well, at this point, kind of looks neutral to positive. So we'll see what goes on with the CPI and the PPI on Thursday and Friday. And hopefully, things don't get too nuts with, with the hurricane coming over. If you're in Florida, make sure to take care of yourself, guys. Don't be a hero. If you're supposed to evacuate, guess what? Evacuate. I don't want to see a picture of you on your roof like this. Or else Red Dog's going to send you a helicopter. Anyway, look at the Qs here. The Qs have a wedge type pattern. First time I introduced the wedge on Wall Street was with Mark Haynes in 2008. He's like, so Scott, is this wedge going to give us a wedgie? I'm like, no. What a wedge is, it's a consolidation pattern after a big move to digest, the action, which we've seen. And right now it seems like this wedge resolved to the upside, and you did see some better action in tech yesterday. And that was after poor action the day before. That kind of happens. Well, anyway, there is some news out there that Google might be broken up into 3 different companies. At this point, Google's been, pretty much dead money. So, I wouldn't be. I don't think it's going to have too much of an impact on the overall market. But right now, Google itself is down $1.90. Okay, 162.40. I guess take a look. They've been talking about this the whole time. I think Google is actually, the way they split their stock was so stupid back in the day anyway. GOOG and GOOGL. It's like they have to split the buying power with the algos. But anyway, see how that gets dealt with. Remember yesterday, everyone's like, Red Dog, Microsoft's downgraded. Oh my God, it's a piece of junk. I'm like, well, maybe you could buy versus a 5 15-minute low. Maybe it reclaims yesterday's low and relieves pressure. Well, yesterday, Microsoft went fast, right? We're looking at this. I'm like, hey, you have 400.08. Maybe it puts a low in. It put a low in so damn fast and reclaimed 409 and turned into a little Red Dog reversal that a lot of people had a nice trade yesterday. It's still broken, but some things are just a cash flow trade, and this was a decent cash flow trade yesterday. The low was 408.19, so that means you were risking a total of 80 cents to make $4 or $5. Now, what's Microsoft doing today? I'm getting a little bit of upside follow through. Don't you love when you get a downgrade after a move from 468, 441 down 10 days in a row, and then you get a downgrade? That's like a trader's dream because usually it's priced in and you can make some cash flow the other way. So That's one little tactic that Red Dog likes to teach. Another tactic is, how to find some relative strength, how to continue with the trade. And NVIDIA has been absolutely fantastic. You can look at a lot of different ways that we made money with NVIDIA with a lot of different tactics that I've trained you guys through the years. Through the years. Anyway, first one was a Red Dog reversal right here. This was your low, 115.79. It went to 115. What was this? 14. So you were risking like 60 cents after a move from 127. So what was that? 12 points lower. This was your day one of a new active sequence. How does a new active sequence show commitment? Well, it pays you to stay there and makes it easy for you to add to it and trade around it. So anyway, this was a nice Red Dog reversal. Had some follow through. Next day was you had a little weakness. It held the 8 day. When you're above the 8 day, that's good. It was buyable. Then you had some follow through, went as high as 133.48. I tried to show you guys yesterday how the virtual trader for sees my positions and sees me navigate it, and it cost me money because I was just trying to make an example, and I sold a little NVIDIA a little early. But guess what? Red Dog's been holding his swing in NVIDIA. So again, if you are on the Alpha team, you're still watching. The Red Dog is still in NVIDIA. I've been in NVIDIA since last Thursday. It's been a great trade. A lot of people are making a lot of money here. But hey, guess what? It's up $1.50. It's nice. Another little bit of follow through. So today, I probably will be the smallest I've been in NVIDIA since starting this active swing trade. So right now, I'm going to actually sell a little bit pre-market again. That's what I do. I have a process. You're going to see it flash. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Flash. Did it flash? There we go. So anyone watching says, "Oh, Red Dog's netting some money, taking it off the table in NVIDIA." So anyway, that's that. And I also have AVGO. So yesterday, if you are on the virtual trading floor, you're like, "Oh, Red Dog, just bought a new position. It wasn't overnight." And that was, what's it called? Avago yesterday. And I do think that Avago will probably make a new all-time high before NVIDIA. This was a great move. I, went after it yesterday, added to it, and I took it home, and it's up 30 cents. I'm going to probably trim a little bit of that. But ultimately, it'll be nice to see that, there's an all-time high happening in a semiconductor, because the semiconductors have been working very well. You look here at the SMHs, this was your high, 283 back in July when it started to lag. And ultimately, once it got above this 244, it's been in a nice active sequence working higher. I like when the semis are going up. I'm much better in the semis than I am in the energy names and the banks, and I'm better in mega cap tech. But there really, like we said before, there's not a whole lot of awesome mega cap tech names or Mag 7. There's only been Meta, And actually, Netflix woke up yesterday, but it's really hard, So here's Meta. Meta's been great. Buy a dip. As long as it holds the 8 day, stay with it. Just make sure when it gets extended, you trim some. You got to feed the gods, the trading gods a little bit, so this way you could add some back. So anyway, this still looks great. Netflix yesterday was crazy, to be honest. This is such a hard stock. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Bottom line is it looked like it was ready to break down. And if you tried to fade it into this move or that move, you got squeezed. And now looks like an all-time high is going to happen. I guess, anyway, it is what it is. That's what's been hard here. Apple's been hard also, to be honest. But hey, guess what? I'm being a little rude. I didn't get to say good morning to my doggies around the world in the neighborhood. So what's going on here? Let's see. We got who we got? We got Frank Tucci. You sound like you're somebody from Staten Island. No, I'm kidding. What up? Google is worth more if they break up the company. That's what Frank says. So hey, maybe it's good news. You got Be Well from Austin getting it done. Buongiorno, Mike Pags here, committed. Yeah. We have Rod Beher. Scott, a quick question about trend lines for wedges. Sometimes you get extreme. Okay, I'll take a look. Yeah, TSM had some good news. You're in Amazon and Meta. Amazon's been really hard. What up, Jack? Good morning to you. Lancaster, what's up, Marky Mark? So these are everybody talking Reddit. What are they saying about Reddit? Reddit, nice upgrade. Oh, I didn't see that. Red Dog's been in Reddit. Let's go to Reddit and take a look. RDDT. Reddit. Look at that. I've been in Reddit since down here. It became a power play too. If you want to not think about things and just be told by Red Dog what to do, Reddit's been a power play. What's Reddit doing this morning? Is it a nice? Let's see. RDDT. Woo, there you go. Up $2. Hanging in here. Let's see if we can get above 73.42. This has been more than 6 months. This has been since March. It's been in this overall huge cup and handle type pattern. And this was one of the new issues that came public. There weren't a lot of them. So that's why I got excited there. I'm also still very excited about Dash. I still think Dash is going to be dashing. I still think Dash is going to get above this 146 and after earnings be somewhere in the 155 area. I actually bought a little bit of options into this down move. So yes. By the way, did you see the move in Robinhood? What a move. Wow. I got to give it to some of the guys on the Alpha team. They've been all over Robinhood. They've been all over Palantir. Wow. It's good to see his stock follow my rules too, right? Here is your gap up after earnings. You could have been long from here and fallen asleep. You made a lot of money if that's the case and never violated that gap. Or you could have fallen asleep after this big gap. That was after they got added to the S&P. Or you could have traded it, which wasn't the easiest thing to do, and just bought every dip like some of my guys around here and made good money. So it's good to see that there are things happening that follow rules that can make you money, because that's what we do here. We try and make a living approaching the market with a plan. This is not a casino. If you treat the stock market like a casino, you might make money a few times, but you'll be out of business. You might as well bet games with you know who. Anyway, and that's not even great. That's why I really, get a little bit pissed off, excuse my French. But anyway, that's that. So a lot of people like Red Dog, when the hell is Bitcoin going to finally break out? We're in October. First of all, I'm not one of those crypto guys. I do approach some crypto names, and I do think Bitcoin's here to stay. And I do say you could buy it every single month, and at some point you're going to make a lot of money like all the gold bugs did. But the bottom line is this, IBIT has been choppy as hell. It's been in the channel for a long time. I do think at some point this is going to go. Okay. But obviously everyone's like, well, Red Dog, why is Mr. so much better? Like Mr. is basically saying Bitcoin should be already above 73,000. I'm like, I have no idea. All I know is that there are some shorts trapped in Mr. So it adds some fuel and it's been outperforming. And if this is a leading indicator, which it might be, probably, that it's telling you that Bitcoin's going higher at some point. Or, at some point people are going to be very trapped if all of a sudden Bitcoin turns lower. And but again, we're not going to play it that way. It's been above the 8-day. It's been a nice trend. Mr. has been great. I'm not in Mr. I'm not going to lie to you and say, oh, I'm killing it in Mr. But there are people that trade Mr. I've been in IBIT. I've been in this CORZ, which is kind of like a crypto mining SPAC that has some AI capabilities that's technically acting very well. That if Bitcoin gets going, I would assume this takes out 1295. My institutional friends say it's going to 18 plus. You just got to be, you just got to play it by ear, and not have too much size. Also, this Square, listen, Square, some people think they're like, why would Square just go up with Bitcoin? In my personal experience, I've seen Square move when Bitcoin goes. It's obviously a payment system for businesses, and it has a crypto component. Bottom line is, nice little pattern here. Took out the moving averages. I have the $70 and $72 calls. I would think, this could continue to the upside, kind of like PayPal woke up. But at this point, it's a day one. So you could buy Square, put your stop in. If it gets above 69.40, it's got room to 72.30. And if Bitcoin starts to move, it actually could probably be better. So yeah, so I'm in, I bought the stock. I was in options and I was wrong in here, but at least it kept me engaged, and we'll see how that goes. Anywho, Tesla's big event is coming up tomorrow. What's starting to be good is people are starting to like downplay it now. I like it better when Tesla's downplayed and not hyped. Tell Dan Ives to shut his cajones for a little bit. Bottom line is, Tesla has underperformed for 3 years. 3 years it's underperformed, right? This is when it put its high in Tesla in 414, 371, 299, finally started acting better. It's getting pretty tight in here. You could use 237. This is 271, but in order to get to 271, now you have a new point of reference. It's got to get above and stay above this 250-ish. So with that being said, if for some reason it looks awesome and he talks about the future and people believe that he's not just over promising and under delivering and more like over delivering and to some of the promises, you could probably buy it through 250, and then your next spot is 265. But in order to get to 265 at 271, it's got to get above this. So I have some 270 calls on that are probably worthless. I might add some 250s, or I might just trade it. We'll see. Yeah, firm's looking better. Trinity, Scott, have you ever considered all call leaps on Mr. when it's trading at the bottom of the channel? Wouldn't that be smarter, Trinity, to double dip? Listen, I like to double dip too. I like to, you know, you buy down here, thinking like some people like to do this. Like, this is great. That's why I use a tier system. Anticipate, like, hey, Mister's breaking above 130. I think it's going to get above 180. Let's do it here. Then all of a sudden you caught a middle, not just a breakout trade. There's all different types of trades. That's why sometimes, like even with this square, this is kind of like a trade. Like, this is an anticipation trade that it's going to get above here. So this could have been your tier one. Here you could add to it because it just broke above this flag. It did a low, higher low, another higher low. And then, you even get to there. So there are definitely different types of trades because, depending on if you take overnights, if you take options, if you swing trade, EV's down 3% in the UK, diesel's up 15%. All right. Where do I see Robinhood going? I think it was downgraded today, to be honest. Where is Robinhood today? Down 16 cents, not bad. I don't really trade that as much. I think Reddit at some point in the next 3 to 6 months is going to be $85. Okay, that's that's my thought process here. Okay, it's not just a bulletin board, but anyway, and it's been under accumulation and it has some sponsorship, so it is what it is. For all you Reddit guys out there, you want Red Dog. If you're a bunch of kids out there and you want a little bit of a grown-up approach, come to the 630 Club. Tell your Reddit crew. Anyway, I'm kidding. But I did find a lot of good information when I had my heart surgery about the mitral valve. There's a lot of good information out there. They just need to, get some products and sell some advertising and do what they do. Anyway, VKTX looks better. The bios look all right. If I was going to choose one, of these type of bios, I would think this Viking. A lot of people like it. Some people think it's going to get taken out. Some people just technically say, hey, it's going to get above 71. I'm not in this for now, but it does look good. And some people said, Red Dog, why am I in ASTS? I made some good money in this move. I've been kind of hanging in. I'm like, this is like your question is, do you ever buy something at the bottom end of the range? Well, here, this is kind of at the bottom end of the range. Hopefully it holds. Buy a little bit, get engaged, starts to act better, takes out 2640, you add to it, then all of a sudden takes out 31 in the days that you add to it. And then now you just played a stock that, at some point, if the future is as bright as some of these big institutions and people think with satellites, you catch a whole middle, not just play a breakout trade above 39 in a month from now. So that's why I nibbled a little bit here. But I'm nibbling, not where it's going to change my day if it's not ready to go. There's different ways to do it, or it's a feeler to engage it. So sometimes I need, because I have ADHD, I have to have a little something in the game in order to be engaged. So when it does turn on, I can go with it. Thoughts on FXI? I will be buying the FXI. I said yesterday I'd like to buy it in the 3240-ish area down to here, and it already bounced, and now it's down a little bit this morning, down 90 cents. So I you can move this up. So this is your new point of reference. This is what, 32.27. Do I think 32.27 will be the perfect spot to buy against? I don't know, but better to buy it here than 37.50, where I told you guys was coming into resistance, and the resistance was right here. Okay. People like, Red Dog, where will this thing stop? I was like, well, look at this big line here. This is where it broke down from 37.50. So if you sold into that area, which is what we spoke about, okay, you did pretty well. And now it's like trying to build here. So this is the low. Question is, from here to there, this is not a bad spot. Can it get lower? This shouldn't be like, this is not going to be a perfect situation. Like I said, you should be accumulating the FXI over time for alpha. But if you're doing it for a trade, I would say buy a little bit here, but think, hey, maybe you can get here. If it got much below here, then there's really not commitment to that move. And then the names that people are trading, you have Baba, you have FU, you have Futu, you have TIGR, and you have Baidu. I would say, look at Baidu. Baidu hasn't done a whole hell of a lot. And Baidu is kind of like the autonomous driving, the search, the this, that. It's pulled in. This is your what's it called? Your weekly chart. I would say Baidu is something, you might want to start trading a little bit closer. This too got a little bit above, actually got above some resistance, didn't quite get to there. So I'd say either here, or if we can get to there, this is your buyable spot. This is like 99-ish. Okay, this morning, where is it? Where's Baidu this morning? Baidu is down 3 at 102.95. What's this? This is 104. So Baidu's below yesterday's low. So I would think into this area, which is another gap. that's probably a decent spot, to buy right here. Like start putting down your list of where things should hold and where, if they go below, you don't really want it in these Chinese names. That's my humble opinion. But anyway, Tony, stay safe. You want the AFRM chart? If you're still in it from this gap, you're doing just fine. Okay. Then you have right here, you could say this is like kind of a higher low. Looks all right. This isn't something that I hyper focus on, but there is some action here. Kind of turned up. So if you wanted to be long, you could be long versus 37.31. That would be, you're out. All right, guys. Listen, I appreciate you. I'm heading to the city today, by the way. I will be with my friend Liz Clayman, who did a great job at the UN hosting the year anniversary of the October 7th tragedy. Yes, that was a tragedy. Okay, not everything's been perfect since, but we're not going to get into that. Bottom line is I'm going in. I go in once a month. My buddy Chillo from the Alpha team's coming in from Chicago. I'm going to take him on the floor with me. And then what are we going to do? We're going to meet our friends at the New York Stock Exchange. It's a great event, the benefit, for children. So you should donate to charity. I'd rather donate to certain charities that I like than pay taxes to Washington that who knows what the hell they're going to do with their money. Most of these politicians are worth $100 million and they friggin' get paid $250 a year. How does that happen? But anyway, we're not going to get into politics. We're going to control what we control. And we're going to think about our word of the day. Boys and girls, commitment. What are you committed to? Okay, you committed to great things that help you, that benefit your community. You're committed to bad things that drag you down. If you want to change your life, you got to change your standards. And that means you might have to be committed to a new process if your old process isn't working. Later, guys.